Hello, hello. Piku 4, how's it going? Hey, y'all. We're back. Taking a little day off yesterday. But thank Godot it's Friday. There we are. Hey, Nix with the hydrate. Thank you. I got a big full cup of water right here. How's everyone doing? All right, let's change up this radio here. Something a little... This is funny, but here we go. All right, today we're going to start working on a bit of a rewrite of the Autotiler, specifically like a consolidation. We're trying to unify the Autotiler down to a single process, or at least some kind of common process that we can branch off. Because right now the problem is we have basically currently 3 different kinds of autotiling, and they're all using their own process, their own rules, their own path. And that's a little silly because we need to switch it out here. We need to be able to just do one thing. because the auto tiling rule set here has gotten pretty complicated. And I don't want to maintain it in like 3 different places. So we kind of just need one set, one common process here. So we'll see. We'll see how long this takes. You keep forgetting your Twitch app sucks. Yeah. It's eating your messages. It's unfortunate. This is the standard one, which is what we use for most blocks. And then we have a secondary one, which is for like just the overlay, which takes a bunch of shortcuts because it essentially depends on the initial pass, which is a way we could go about it. Hey, Rhiannon Journey, how's it going? Happy Friday. How are you doing? Oh, 1 second. Be right back. I forgot something. Just a moment. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the late start. I was watching the finals of the like World Cup for StarCraft 2. It's pretty good. It's kind of short, but it was pretty good. I guess it was good that it was short, or I would have been even later. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess we have to decide whether we want to have this kind of compounding process that tries to take shortcuts. Problem with this is at the end of the day, I don't think this is a good way to do it. I think shortcuts are fine. Yeah, let's think about how we could write this. We could try to have like a get Atlas coord or something like that. Like we could try to like make a very small, simple little utility function. And then have some kind of more broad strokes differentiation depending on the needs of a specific auto tiling, like the overlay. Yeah. Oh, you figured it out. Welcome back, Nix. Welcome back to chat. Let's just start kind of non-destructively writing up an alternative here. Can we get all the way down to the tile data, or is there some intermediate step that we should do, is kind of the question. Probably not. I'm going to call this combined tile cell data. We're not really, I mean, we are kind of generating it, but. All right, so step 1. Do we iterate through every key in the hull? So the hulls is this data structure that we're generating at the beginning, only because we're in edit mode. Next, you had to set up your phone to use VPN only and block every connection not made through Mulvad, and block every connection if Mulvad goes down. You guys Twitch, just like a lot of other apps on Android, they don't work when you presented with the idea of a VPN. You had set up your phone to use VPN only. Ah, I see. Not that you had to, but you had done so, and that, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Too bad. Yeah, so here what we do is we figure out kind of just the hull data. And this is a nice shortcut because this essentially tells us, this gives us a list of all of the possible tiles. And I feel like we should go through this process and rely on this because it does kind of winnow a lot of possibilities. And it does save us a lot of trouble. I'm tempted to spin this off into its own system that only runs in edit mode. But because right now we're only running in edit mode, I'm not going to think about that. It's nice to keep it in the tile system because it's only used by the tile system, and honestly, it's not that hard to recalculate. But yeah, we won't do that once we're actually running the game, like in play mode. We'll have to store that stuff. You had to disable it, now it works? Huh. Well, I'm glad you figured it out. Yeah, so let's at least keep this up. I think this is fine. Key in hulls.keys. Similarly, we do need a cutaway. Cutaway only runs per block. This is still valid. I don't like this. I kind of want to move away from this. Let's see if I can. I don't want to try to do this. We could have hull. We could have a bulk. We could have deck. And at least we don't have this insanely long list. See if the game. We'll see if the program lets us do that. So at first, this is going to look very similar to the way we're currently doing it. It's going to be mostly about trying to roll the tile overlays into this process. And I try to identify here any simplification we can make. Let's just, for now, copy this whole thing over, though. just see what we can do about it. So can we just say like out bulk? Oh, well, we don't do this more than once, do we? Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, we can totally do this. I don't know why we didn't before. We're just going to keep reassigning it. Yeah, my goal would be to make it so we can use this kind of horrible spaghettified autotiling thing for everything. Because it is horrible looking. Like, it's truly crazy. The only thing that's going to be an issue is some of the more generalized or some of the more overlay specific stuff. How to capture that best. Ideally, we can add some more general... we could specify like a parameter of like, you need membership in this. And then we can just add that in as a generic, well, check for membership in this. We'll see. We'll see if that works. I would like something like that to work. That would be optimal. Yeah, sorry for missing the stream yesterday. I just did not sleep enough and I was just so tired. I still am a bit, but I think we'll have a good stream today. I just knew this was going to be such a bag of worms. I'll probably be on it for a few days. I didn't want to start it till I kind of had the, you know, the fortitude to do it. But at least it's Friday. Got the weekend to look forward to. Rhiannon Journey, you're sure your productivity was up a bit yesterday? Oof. But were the vibes at least down a little? I'd hate to think that I'm just purely a net negative for people who are watching the stream. I mean, it's definitely true for me. My productivity definitely goes down streaming compared to just working offline, but the vibes are up, so, you know, it's a trade-off. Like everything else, it's a trade-off. All right, I kind of want to see if this function just works the way it's written here. We're going to try to swap it out and see if anything's broken. If it's not, we can proceed. Vibes are up and cozy. Good. I know. I was fishing. I was fishing a little bit for that, but thank you. Nix, your productivity is non-existent the moment you leave the doors at work. Yeah, my problem is I work at home. I forgot that we did this. I kind of like it. I kind of like this highlighting thing. I didn't think I did, because I don't... It kind of highlights what you're about to place, but I kind of like it. I've changed my mind. And then I would like it if you did a selection, it starts looking like this, and then when you're done, it like creates an outline. I don't think I want the inline anymore. I think I want just a single outline around it, or at least around each contiguous section, which I think is in line with how the Autotiler will work. And then this one's an interesting case because this one doesn't care about outlines. So we need a branch on our Autotiler that's just doesn't care about outlines. That'll be a much simpler branch. It'll be nice to have, because yeah, sometimes you don't care about outlines. You're just trying to fill a space. What was I doing? Checking here? Oh yeah, I was checking to see if it was working. It seems to be. Seems fine. Yeah, I don't see any issues. And sometimes the chat is popping. Yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah, as the energy of the stream goes up, my productivity typically goes down, and that's okay. We're not here just to make games. Oh, I mean, we are here mostly to do that. All right, that seems to be working, so let's carry on to the next step here. So now we need, so with our masked cursed block tile, masked cursor block tile, that's for the hover thing. And then there's update grid tile map data, which is for a selection. Maybe there will be a distinction for hulls. Oh, maybe. Cursed tiles could be fun. Yeah, they could. Nix, sometimes you work from home. You're able to complete like 20% of normal work in those days. Yeah, it's there are distractions. I like it. I was crunching away on a project this morning, and you know, I got to watch the World Cup. Is that so bad? I still did the work. It's not like people aren't just at work doing their work and watching the World Cup on their phone. I just got to watch it on a bigger screen. Nix, you got back from the doc. Doc was surprised at how much you've done a 180 with your life, which is cool. You still have some problems with liver function. Someone's got to rewrite those functions. Yeah, let's refactor the liver. Liver's actually pretty robust. Yeah, my doctor has told me similar things. I like to just, the food I like to eat is just too rich and I don't exercise enough. But I'm really glad you got some recognition for that 180. That's really huge. All right, so next step. So when we're doing this for the selection, it's interesting. I think we actually have to change how the selection process happens. Which buffers do we work on? We work on the preview buffers, don't we? All right, so what we need is some like pending state for the selection, because the problem right now, I want this thing for the pending selection. I don't want this. So we need to actually have a kind of mode transition for it. And then once we've got that sorted, then we can look at... Yeah, because for one thing, it's kind of weird how these double up. They shouldn't. They should be treated as the same thing. It's almost like an active zone or something like that until you let it up and then it becomes something else. Oh, the cut still doesn't work. We never fixed that. I thought we did. Copy works, doesn't it? I might have messed it up. Hey, Aragon, what up? Yeah, it's... People have very different experiences of the doctor between who they are and where they are, and... In the States, it's not great. Alright, let's see if the copy at least works. No, I broke it. I broke it all. Thought I fixed this the other day. Alright, let's fix it again. A little weird. A little weird that this is happening. Oh. This is wrong. What's happening there? That is not right. We can do that here, though. We can say prior bounds. I forgot. We got rid of prior coords. We only have prior bounds. And I did not think about the consequences of... Or clearly I didn't identify all of the consequences of that. I've never been to Germany. I would like to go. Alright. Alright. Alright, alright. Okay, we did fix it, and then we broke it again. Easy. No problem. The anchor looks like it's like off by 1 or something like that, but I'm just gonna live with that for now. Okay, we can get rid of the prior coords. I think we've successfully dealt with that. All right, so when we do, oh, we can get out of this system. We're not in this system right now. Okay. So when we do the selection, actually, no, we weren't. We did need to look here. So when we do a selection, we're writing to a dictionary, right? I kind of want to do that differently. So they're actually cursor bounds until they're a selection. and then they become a selection. Yeah, that's how we want to do this. That's how we want to do this. We only want the selection to come into play here at the end. So we can actually not do a lot of this. We also don't need to say new AABB coords. There's an implicit conversion now. So we need to set the cursor bounds. So we're actually not going to do like any of this. Well, we do need to do the reveal, I guess. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do like this. A little weird to be declaring this so quickly here, but abacoords, yeah. Abacoord and then ab another. All right, and then as we continue, we will just expand that cursored boundary, and that will give us that cool effect. And then at the end, we will just convert it to a selection. You might be overscoping again. Oh no. What, with themes? With your infinite themes and stuff? How many website themes do we need, Adagon? You've gone on yet a third tangent? Oh no, we're so many levels down. We've gone too deep. All right, so I think I can get rid of this. If bounds.overlap subtleblocks.aabb, I actually think I can get rid of this whole branch. We can just say this. Why do you remake this every time? Oh, because it's from the anchor coordinate. So we'll just make a new one, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna clamp it. We'll just say settled blocks dot clamp. Oh no, settled blocks dot aabb dot clamp. Save that for a second here. Oh, we need to say new AABB. How many parentheses does one need is the real question. Oh no, we had that. Oh, the new is here. Never mind. There we go. Custom components, since the other ones don't work with the themes. Oh, wow. It's going to be the largest site update. Trying to get it out today. Oh, good luck. So instead of just setting the input, we're going to just say game.input.cursorBounds equals bounds. Say prior bounds equals bounds. And then when we get to the end here, excuse me, when we get to the end here, this is where we say selection anchor equals game to put the cursor core. Yeah, sure. And then we say game.input.selection. Oh, we don't say clear, we say selection. Oh. We can do this. We can say for each vector 3i towards in input.cursor bounds. Oh, we can't do that again. Reset a cursor towards in the cursor bounds. We say selection.add. Yeah. An add range would be nice, but I understand. Let's see if this works. I have a feeling that this is going to be kind of weird. Let's see what it does. Oh, it like just works. Cool. We still need to like get it to like do the outlining the way we want it now. It's kind of fun. So this like light gray overlay just lets you know what you're working on. It like lets you know where your inputs are being registered. That's nice. But yeah, I think we'll have a subtler outline for the selection when we're done. All right, nice little one and done feature there. Get rid of all that. Yeah, thanks, Nix. All right, so that's it for the tool modifications. That is also nice because it means we can get rid of all of these functions, which didn't really do much. All right, now we can go back to our Autotiler, I think. So this is the one that controls. This is the one that controls that intermediate overlay thing. I think I want to write the selection one itself first, which is right now this one. So I don't think we're gonna. So what does this need? It typically pulls out a tile already, but it doesn't really need to. It does save some effort by pulling from the keys, the actual tile keys, but I don't want it to do that. In fact, I want it to clear the tiles thing. That should happen every time here, right? So when we generate this, we don't clear the tiles. We should be clearing that. We do it here. Okay, let's not do it there. I'm gonna move these more towards where they're relevant. counts, we can move down here. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to write this as just an implementation of this combined tile cell data. We just need to think about what we need to pass through here. We can do it all again, which is fine. All of this should be aware of cutaways. So all of these can be aware of hulls and cutaways. The easiest thing to do would be to like include a sheet that doesn't care. Maybe we might just have two functions. We might just have like autotile with outline or an autotile without. Autotile with outline and autotile with outline. That wouldn't be confusing. That'd be pretty good. Auto tile with outline versus auto tile with outline. That's too funny. Nate, something like that. Welcome in. Hello. Are you using C# with Godot? Yes, we are. So we're making an isometric kind of FTL-like game in Godot. We've kind of split our simulation layer kind of outside of the engine, just so that all the simulation units are like very lightweight. Like I just didn't want. We've got kind of an entity component system that we've written in C# here. Don't ask me why we're using this language. This has to do with more with familiarity with anything else. So yes, yeah, we're using C# and Godot for the simulation layer. The UI and the rendering and stuff, like everything that runs through Godot is still using GDScript. So like we have like an input handler in GDScript. We have like code for like our tile map layers somewhere here. So we do still use GDScript, but we are also using C# for like a subsection of the game. Yeah, hi. How's it going? Happy Friday. Don't do it, Nix. You don't need more mods for RimWorld. This is why I've resisted the temptation to install any, because I know that as soon as I install any mods on this latest run, it will just consume me. Yeah, Rihanna Journey. You may need to join a support group. But mods. You've heard, Nightska, you've heard that the support is not that good for C#. It's reasonable. They're working on the big issue that most people run into is that web exports don't currently work with the like C# version of Godot. They have fixed that in an upcoming version. I don't know if it's going to be in 4.5, but it might. So that's being fixed. They're also kind of reworking the C# integration in general so that it works more like GD extension, which like GD extension is how you can like bind any language to Godot, whether it's like, you know, C++ or Rust or whatever. Like, so eventually I think the idea will be that the C# implementation is done through that instead of the way it's currently being done, which is a little weirder. So you hopefully one day won't need a separate version of the engine to use C#. But yeah, it depends on what you're doing. I also try to avoid like a lot of Godot API calls from in here because obviously C# is managed, but the rest of Godot is unmanaged. So there is complexity in interacting between the two. We're kind of trying to have them touch as minimally as possible, just to, yeah, deal with some of that. But it depends on, I think, what you're comfortable with. Like for us, it just made more sense to use C# than anything else from a personal standpoint. So what are we doing? So we're thinking about the difference with the selection autotiler. So that has a conditional, that has like a membership thing. Man, I don't know how to do this in a single way. Hey, Silas. How's it going? Happy Friday. You know what I bet the easy way to do this would be to generate some kind of intermediate that's just a map of like, I think you need to separate it to have, I think you need to separate the logic out that determines whether there is a valid tile in a given adjacency with, I think you need to separate that from the actual implementation of the autotiling, where you were determining, like, where are the outlines? Like, which variation, like, what's the atlas codes going to be? I think that needs to be its own step, and I think that needs to work off of... Oh, man. Okay. I don't want to duplicate the autotiling rules, because I don't think they change. But there is some like preliminary, like you need to belong to this, like for a selection overlay, like you need, are you selected? Is your neighbor selected? Like there needs to be something like that. You're feeling a bit sick today? I'm sorry to hear that. Hi, it's good. Awesome. And how's the game going? You see that I have more than 200 episodes. Do I stream every day? We stream Tuesday through Saturday usually for 2 to 3 hours. So progress is slow. We do it very part-time. We're spending most of our time on this editor tool right now to build these 3D isometric. It's basically a tool to help us build everything. What did I do? Pack data. Okay, I broke the export somehow. What did I do? What did we change? But yeah, I can show you the tool in a second. We're doing a pretty big refactor of it, but it should still work if I can figure out what I just did. Was I messing around with the selection layer thing? I didn't think I did anything. I guess we find the call site that caused that crash is what we are supposed to do here. Yeah, something we did in the combined tile cell data is busted. What did we do? We're passing in a bad format ID. Silas, you're chugging away on your terminal emulator. You got a bit on of a better structure with a kernel, shell, terminal emulator, and a file system. You make it sound fancy, but it's very basic. No, that's very cool. That's very cool. We're going to need to make a little file system interface in here for like saving and loading all the stuff you make with the editor. Not totally looking forward to that. Refactors always suck. Every time you start to break things in your project, you lose so much interest. Yeah, that is dangerous. Like here, I work around that because I hate that. I think you need you have to minimize. You have to very much minimize the amount of downtime that you have on a project like that. Because, yeah, the longer the project won't build, it's super impactful. Oh, it's still crashing even though I use the other function. I broke something somewhere else. I must have broken something in the tile set. I don't know how. We gotta go to GitHub here. What did we do? Holes, cutaways clear. Doors dot clear. Holes dot clear. Counts. Generate tile cell data. I rearranged some stuff. I don't think that would have any impact. Let's change this back, I guess. Have you made any games before, or is this your first one? I have made games before. Usually jam games, small games. I'm a solo dev, so I don't have any like published Steam games, if that's what you're asking. I'm more of like a hobbyist, part-timer. But we are trying to make this big game. But we're not in a hurry. I'm under no illusion this game is probably going to take, 6+ years. So the easiest thing to do would be to just undo... What did I do down here? Oh, whatever. I was just being funny. Let's just put all this back. I probably got the order wrong. I don't know what else I could have done to break everything. Yeah, okay, so that dependency order is not good. Okay, weird. All right, so yeah, here's our little tool. So we can make these 3D. This is gonna be how we build our ships and like, space stations and little moon bases and everything. It's this isometric 3D tool set that lets us build out and then hollow out these 3-dimensional areas. It's pretty simple right now. So there's like one level. It also comes with a pretty complicated cutaway system that we've built. And this is why the simulation layer is separate from everything else, is so that we can keep all this simulation stuff and then only worry about rendering what we actually need to. So we can keep like separating out these compartments. And it's pretty gray boxed right now, but this is the makings of how we're going to be building out these ships. And there are these 3D blocks that you need to be able to peer into. So we're kind of doing like a Navy ship style cutaway. So you can kind of see into everything. And that's the tool we're working on right now. We're working on the Autotiler today. Nix, you're back. You made yourself some noodles. You're getting ready to waste another night in RimWorld. Nice. Alright. Well, we fixed that, so I'm not going to mess around with that stuff again. I wonder what I got wrong about the reorder. That looks crazy. Thank you. Yeah, we've been working on that a while. We're taking a very first things first kind of approach with this game. Taking it easy. We need that tool. We made the tool. Rhiannon, you're excited for the weekend? It's been a busy week. You're looking forward to wasting some time. Hard Space Shipbreakers. I wanted to play that. I don't think it's on Game Pass anymore. Because you were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I should finish that. I should finish my run of that game. I'll find something to play. Hey, Arneo. You wonder if you'd enjoy that, if you'd enjoy RimWorld? All right, next, can you sell or describe that game to them in like 10 words? That's a challenge. Mods. One word. Journey. Let me sell you RimWorld with one word. Mods. All right, so what do we need to strip away or add to this so what we're thinking, so what we want to do is we're trying to, so this Autotiler has its own rules about how everything is supposed to look and how it redraws based on everything. There's also these overlays, like this active area and like this selection overlay. And so we're working on making, right now these have their own rules and their own process for drawing. This is wrong, but we're not going to fix that right now. And so we're looking for a unified way to just do it all. And that's what we're working on right now. Chaos, Adagon. Next, you have 3,000 hours of it on Steam. There, only 9 words. Nice. I wouldn't play it from mods from the get-go, Arneo, but like right now I'm playing with some of the new expansions and I don't have any mods installed just to, so I can get a feel for the new expansions first, but it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend as well. I'm gonna go get pancakes with a friend, either tomorrow or Sunday. It's gonna be good. We'll go have a breakfast. We'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll stream tomorrow though. Probably a working stream, depending on how much progress we make today. I want to do another RimWorld Let's Play or a Void War Let's Play, but that's like a treat for me. We're doing a good job. And I already took yesterday off, so I probably should work. Yeah, so my thoughts are the best way to do this, because we invalidate consideration of a block just by merits of, we might invalidate it just by merit of it not being, you know, in the select. Like before we even look at its neighbors, we need to think about, well, I guess we are looking at the neighbors, but we can screen a bunch of options just with this membership of, do you belong to a particular group? Maybe we need to build a structure that like pre-screens everything for that. Next, you should avoid mods until you understand the game loop. Mods and DLCs add a lot of complexity to the game, so it's easy to get confused. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. F working. I deserve some time off too. Yeah. I took some yesterday, you know. We didn't stream yesterday, so we'll see. I want to get this auto tile out of the way. So here's my thinking. If we can identify very easily this thing should be considered or not, I think we need to prepare a little structure, like a quote-unquote acceleration structure, like a hash set or something, that's just like, here are all of the tiles to consider. And that way we can generalize that. We can go from like, well, these tiles depend on this, whether you consider it. It's like, oh, but for selection, you depend on whether it's selected or not, or blah, 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 you know? Or for the cursor bound ones, you depend on whether it's in the cursor bound thing. So the only difference is that we need something like that for... Oh no, we already do, don't we? I was gonna say we need that for the tile, but maybe it could be the Hall dictionary. Ooh, or maybe we can go even further out, and so we have this for each at the top. Generally the key in the holes in the whole dictionary. But that doesn't need to be the case. Instead, we could say for each key, for each coordinate set in like the selection thing. So only look at selected boxes or whatever. Like we could define a yeah, and we could use a hash set or a dictionary. If we do a dictionary, we can just say dictionary.keys. And if we do a hash set, we just leave the hash set. And then we can just pass in different structures that we already are maintaining. That's good. That's good. That could make this more generalized. So what we need to do is we need to say, well, what do we need to pass in here is the thing. Something that contains. So let's look at the dictionary. Oh, maybe not this way. Let's look at the dictionary in the docs. In the docs, I said confidently. There we go. So if I want to just get the keys, what do I get? Keys. Gets a collection. What kind of collection? It's a dictionary.key collection. Can I do something more generic? What is a key collection? What do you implement? You're an I collection for T key. You're an I enumerable of T key. I read only collection of T key. We just need something that we can specify a T for which, or a T of, you know, type. A T that implements this, because we want something that's both a dictionary and, or that can represent both dictionaries and hash sets. So if I get hash set, and I get, so a hash set is also an I collection of T. So, oh, and it's also an I read-only collection of T. I read-only set. We'll go with I collection. So we could say something like this. We could say keys. Say a T of keys. Where T is an I collection of vector 3i. Oh, it's not going to always be a vector 3i though. Dang it. Because we have vector 4i. I'm trying to avoid redoing the hard work that the layered derivation part here, like where we derive the door data and the bulk data and the deck data, like where we divide because the primary one that we care about is like the actual tiles for like the walls and the floor and the whatever, and that gives us kind of the list that we start from. And so that's the same no matter what. So maybe we do need to provide a separate thing. What do I want to do here? mean, it wouldn't be that bad to just go through all of it like we do up here, to just very simply go through the whole buffer. Like, this is fine. To just do this again. Let's try it that way. So what if we did it that way? Instead of going through each key. We need the block buffer then. Okay, that's fine. Buffer 3D read only. And block. Block buffer. Oh yeah, we can read into the span directly, huh? Cool. This is slightly a duplication of effort, but I think it's fine. What we can do, we can say here, if block buffer dot span I dot is empty, continue. It's gonna be a little slower, but I think this maybe gives us some of the generality that we need, that we want here. We get our relative position. So we don't have our key anymore, but that's what our relative position is for. Is it? Or cutaways? Are cutaways and hulls stored in relative position? They are, aren't they? Yeah, they are. We have absolute positions, which is the position assuming no camera rotation, like where you actually are in the world space. And then we have a relative position, which is like where you are relative to the camera. Because some stuff needs to be in one form versus the other. Like the tile map doesn't care about absolute position, it only cares about relative position, because the tile map is only interested in rendering tiles as they will appear. So we need to make that distinction. So, but we've got our relative position. So let's just indent this so that it works, I guess. It stops yelling at me. Will any of this work help with the rotation stuff or not? No, the rotation stuff is something separate. I feel like we're very close to a solution with that. It's just not something I want to stare at on the screen, on stream. That's something that I'm just going to figure out how to restore the camera rotation stuff to work correctly. That's just something I'll just sit and just stare at for a few hours until I'm like, ah. Yeah. It's really hard to work on something on stream if you truly don't have an idea of what it's supposed to be like. All right, so hull keys dot. Oh, so here's the Canundi. The nice thing about iterating through the hulls was that we didn't have to guess. second guessing this approach a little bit because it is just nicer if we can iterate through the hulls. It saves us a lot of effort. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't actually save us that much effort because eventually we're going to shrink the bounds of the buffers to only the extents that are actually being used. And that will actually make this a lot easier. So maybe that actually is fine in this context. So cutaway. So we check the cutaway. If this area is fully cut, we just don't even consider this. So yeah, let's keep working through the stuff that's generic, and then let's figure out where we hook into some of those more specific, like, oh, we need to check if this is which overlay this belongs to, or which overlay we're trying to figure out here. So hulls key. That's not quite gonna work. You were so deep into the mods, Nix. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, so we can't just switch on this. So instead, we're going to need to define it and do it ourselves here. Oh, that's going to be hard, huh? Okay, I think I'm getting towards an idea with this. I think we actually need to handle this layer by layer. I think we need to pass in what layer we're working on. So we need to split this up. It's kind of like what we did up here, where we split up the hull stuff. So like derive door layer data, derive bulk layer data, derive deck layer data. So we're going to need to say something like oh, they're from the biotech one? Okay. That one didn't seem as... I mean, that one did seem cool, but I'm happy with the DLCs I have. I feel like there's enough content in there. I'm going to be distracted for a long time. I have one game going that's like... I have one of the Odyssey games going where we're on, like, where we're using the grab ship scenario, and then I have another one that's like... that I started when I just had royalty and ideology, and that one's like a traditional base, like a permanent base, and I like that. I need to go back to that a little bit. The grab ship scenario is really cool, but I kind of want to play a little traditional Rim world for a minute, you know, where I'm setting up a little bit more of a permanent base. Oh, I did want to ask you, Nix, how do you get more Gravlight panels? Can you do it? Because I see the Grav Core missions where it's like, go get this Grav Core. It's going to be like a horribly difficult fight. Is that the only way to get Gravlight panels as well? Or is there other ways to get Gravlight panels besides going on those like Grav Core scrounging missions? Biotech's really cool. Please don't get it for me. You've already gotten me plenty of DLCs. I think it's too much content. I'm drowning in all the content. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a function where we pick a particular layer to do a particular... Yeah, I think we'll need to go layer by layer. Because each layer has its own auto-tiling rules. And I think that helps it be general. So let's do that instead of this thing I'm talking about here. So forget about this for a minute. Let's break it down layer by layer. I think that's good. Gravcore mission gives you Gravlight panel, but also if you research enough, you will be able to make them for yourself with Plasteel and Vaxstone. That's the new rock added in the DLC. You find them in space or sometimes on traders. Oh, okay, okay. Cool. Because, yeah, I was like, how do I get more Gravlight? I didn't feel like I was ready to go fight over the Grav cores, but that's cool. So if I can make it up into space on like an asteroid, I can go get more. I can get the materials to make panels. Okay. So your ship stays pretty small for a while because I ran out of Gravlight panels and I had not built nearly as much of the ship as I would have hoped I could have. So I think I just need to be more comfortable with a smaller ship for longer. Yeah, the Gravcore missions are usually hard. Okay, yeah. I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. All right, so let's split this up. Let's say something like... We have derived door layer data. It should be derived door layer hulls. That's all we're doing. Well, no, I guess the door thing is actually we're generating a lot more than just the hull, huh? Okay. So we'll call this something like create door layer tile or something like create deck layer tiles. You personally just went for the quest after the second move. Oh, wow. They're cheesable, but also you didn't know how hard they would be. I see. Yeah, I don't think that'll be my approach. But that's cool that you can do that. So what we're going to do, if we're just going for a particular layer, I think we still want to do this for each, because this is all, it's all still going off of the hull data. Ultimately, it's still going off the hull data of the ship, because we don't draw these overlays if there isn't a tile to draw them over. Because if we don't, if we just draw overlay tiles everywhere, because they're semi-transparent, you get really weird layering. So we can only draw them when they'd be up against an opaque tile behind them. Behind them is the wrong word. Technically, it's occupying the same space, one index layer up. I think that's the way to do it. And then here we can just basically say if tile.layers how do I do this? How do I do this thing? Oh, like that. Key.w. So if we say if the key is not tile.layers. Actually, I guess we do use a switch statement here. Hold on a second. I don't want to iterate through all of these all the time. I guess that's why I just did this as one huge. Should have tried architecting this a little bit before we started, but that's not my style. All right, let's talk more about the problem that we're trying to overcome. The problem we're trying to overcome is that different overlays depend on different data, but that data is structured similarly, not identically, but similarly. The exception being base tiles don't. They don't have like a membership qualifier. So I guess that's what I need to do is I need to add like a membership qualifier where you can like pass in like a hash set for consideration. But you don't have to. Like you can pass in this mask, essentially. I think that's how we're gonna do it. And then maybe we'll still do it as one giant switch statement just so we don't have to iterate through the halls multiple times, because I realized that was maybe the problem here. We'll just call this create tile cell data. And so what you're going to allow is you're going to allow for like a hash set of vector3i, which is going to be a mask. But I want it to be optional. I want to just have it be optional. Maybe I just need a variant that's like with mask. I don't really want to do that though. I'm trying to get back to the core. I do not want to have to maintain these auto-tiling rules in more than one place. So maybe we do just have this separate somehow. Maybe we just pull this switch statement out into its own. I wonder what the best thing to call specifically the core tile data is. Tile map data. We'll say something like create tile map cell. Instead of void, it could be tile. And it's going to pass in. It needs to pass in a vector4i. Yeah, because if some of the more specific masks determine eligibility, then we can just determine eligibility in like an outer process. And then once we've determined eligibility and we've gotten down to this point where you're just... Although you need to determine the eligibility of your neighbors as well, so maybe this doesn't actually work. Maybe you still need the mask. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to get around the mask thing. We'll just always have a mask, and then if the mask is like null, I guess we'll do something. And the mask is going to be... Oh, the mask is not per... It's per block, not per tile. So we'll just say if not mask dot contains... Here, we could say mask is null. We could just say mask equals. This will always be false according to... Oh, yeah. There we go. We want it to be nullable. That's what we're doing. If it's nullable, this isn't like... Putting the exclamation mark, that's not going to be a problem, right? So usually you'll put an exclamation mark in front of a nullable field because you're like, I want you to ignore the fact that this is nullable. We'll see. We'll see how the compiler thinks about that. Key.xyz. Or we'll say if mask contains. Yeah, we'll make it, it's got to be positive. Oh, no, that's going to be weird. Let me think about this here. Let's just say private. Let's say create deck x tile. Say mask. Here, let's say this. Let's say if mask is not equal to null, we'll have a null branch and a non-null branch. How about that? Which is kind of gross, but at this scale, I don't mind it that much. Like at the scale of each individual case, I mind it less. It's not void, it would be type tile. And so it would need to also include a vector 4i key. Also want the cutaway. Oh, this can't be return tile. We could say record DECX tile. Oh, no, we could say create. Let's get rid of all the reasons we delete the tile entirely. So like this cutaway part, we're going to presume that this is not true, because if it was true, we just wouldn't even get this far. So we'll say all this. Got alt tile ID. Got atlas chords. Cutaway. We're going to have all adjacent. We're going to have hull bulk. Yep. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. So if there's no mask, we'll go through this branch. This is not ideal. This is still some duplication. The problem is we also check our neighbors. Here, maybe there's a way around this. Think about this. Let's get this working without the mask, and then we'll worry about the mask. And then now we need to return a new tile. The key and with the following. All right, and the problem that we have we're getting neighbors. And so we need to check the neighbors. So it's like hulls try get value, whatever, and not cutaway.has. We should also do end bulk equals hull. Should do that out there. Here, let's do it like this. Oh, we need to do this first, I guess. Here, we can do it in here. We can say if mask is not equal to null and key.xyz, yeah, key.xyz. The mask's not null and the mask contains this. Here, let's say atlas chords equals bulk equals hull. Say mask not equals null. This is gonna get messy, but I want to just get something working. Simplify this a little. So we can just say now if we have more than one mask, this is going to be annoying. We could say if mask is equal to null or not mask contains. And just continue. Maybe we should do that at the top, huh? Oh, we're not looking at key.xyz. We're looking at key. We're looking at the key with W equals this, yeah. Oh, but I see. No, we can't do that. We have to say this and this. Only under this precise set of circumstances can we do this. This. So yeah, let's not even consider the mask until we eliminate all the other possibilities. Oh, but if there's no mask, if mask is null. This seems dumb. Maybe we should do the mask null check out here. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. I am still tired. Yeah, this is stupid. I'm gonna write it the way I had it before. That looked dumb, but was fine. You're just playing RimWorld? Yeah, good. All right, so now we can include the mask comparisons, I guess, which helps. Should I stop doing my indentation this way? Just be a normal person. No, I like being weird. That's background noise for your MTG dailies. Nice, nice. Good luck. I feel like we're almost done. We're doing like the lightning strike thing of like, we're like feeling out all these different little ways that we could do something. And we're like, I think we're quickly collapsing to what the specific way that we're going to be doing is. All right, I think this is okay. I think this is a little silly, but it is going to allow us to handle the case of whether or not there's a mask. So if it's like you're doing the selection overlay, you're like, okay, does this belong to the selection overlay? Because it's not enough to just check the tile that you're creating. You also have to check the neighboring tiles. If all you had to do is check the tile you're creating, this would be a lot easier and I would not be as worried about it. All right, if we like this, we'll just set up the rest of them to be like this. I might be messing up the logic by putting these ands on at the end. But no, it should be fine. It should be fine. That's part of why I really want this just written once, is this has gotten stupidly complicated. Oh, we're also not checking key.xyz anymore. Now we're checking key.xyz. Checking offsets of it now. All right, this should work. Famous words here. An easy way to test that would be to splice it in the code. It's a little scary. Yeah, we can't really do that. Probably have to just go through and do the rest of these. But that's good. Now we've like created a function where we write the autotiling rules once. And it can handle a single mask, which I think should be fine for what we're doing. think we just cruise through and make the rest of these now. I hope that they work out. We can't do this making the thing. We have to say if mask is not equal to null and mask and not mask contains key.xyz continue. I don't even think we need a switch. I think we just basically just say, oh no, we do need a switch. Just have a very simple switch that's like it's like tile.layers key.w. Actually, we could even say tile equals. Could have it be a tile. Actually, don't remember how you do it. Switch expression. I have a few around though. Let me find one. Like this. We can say tile is tile.layers key.w switch, I think. Yeah, switch expressions, yo. There we go. Could even say tiles add. You could say tiles key. I like this structure. I think this will be okay. Now we just gotta, write the rest of these, unfortunately. But all right, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I like this. Should be pretty easy to do. The rest of these shouldn't be that much work. All right, and to do this, all we do is we add another. Yeah, we move that up. And then we swap the insides with this, which I should be able to just copy paste this. I wonder if I could rephrase this to mask is null or mask.contains key.xyz. I wonder what happens if you do a call. Yeah. Okay. So even if it's nullable, it's not great. I was just curious. I was curious how clever it was. It's fine. We don't need to be clever. I'm gonna leave it like this. I like this song. This reminds me of the mini delivery music a little bit. So Nix, you just got one of those charity quests. Okay, what does this say? Group of poor travelers are approaching looking for help. Travelers are begging for X420 herbal medicine. They need the medicine to attempt a life-saving operation on fellow traveler who was attacked by mechanoids. Kind of crappy doctor do these people have? Yeah, 420 herbal medicine is a lot. Also quite a meme. right, so this needs to be in here because that has a parentheses. My indentation style is weird, but it does have, there are rules. No, that's crazy. I would not accept that unless the reward was like amazing. All right, you, I'm gonna move down here. Three ideology points. That's pretty good, right? I don't know. I feel like I haven't gotten many ideology points yet. I haven't really been paying attention to those in my grab ship run. I feel like on my, and same thing with the the royalty stuff. I think I accidentally made enemies with the Empire in my last grab ship run. I wasn't like reading a quest text very carefully. But I feel like in my other game, in my regular game, which doesn't involve a grab ship, I feel like I'm going to engage with those systems more and check them out. All right, there's another one. There's another layer done. So this is unfortunate in that the complexity goes up like linearly, like every time I make a new tile layer, but that's still better than having 3 different auto tiling processes. If the only difference is like the masks that are used to determine whether they're similar. All right, it looks like my autofill thing is like starting to figure it out. Autocomplete. It's like, I see the boilerplate that you're making. Why doesn't that work? Oh. Standard for quests. You need 3 right now to improve your ideology. Okay, it's basically what you need. Basically, you can get 0, 1, or 2 if you do one of the rituals. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've done a few rituals. It's cool. All right, so deck Y, deck X. Let's do deck Z. +1 for that. Oh, look how nice and simple these checks are. I'm really hopeful that this is just a really nice change for us. Confirmed. Pancakes on Sunday. Huzzah. I might also go get pancakes tomorrow. Just saying. But I'll go to a cheaper place tomorrow. And I'll go to the nice place on Sunday. I'm feeling like a treat. I tell myself that every day, though. All right, let's do all these, and then let's move on. Okay, there we go. Every day is a treat. Yeah, every day we're alive is a treat. You've medicine maker dryads that make you 20 herbal medicine every other day. Ooh. Are those like colony members or are those like pets? Oh, weird. Huh. I'm like learning more about the like keyboard foo of this IDE. I wish I was like more of a keyboard warrior. I'm really not. I'm really basic. All right, plus X minus Y. Oh, wait, what did I do? Oh, I did some... I gotta move this thing back. There we go. Minus X. Plus X. I've been making some progress on my this project I was given at work. It's been feeling good. It was one of those things where it's like I spent a long time just like doing some like figuring out the approach and like encoding some data and stuff, and now I'm finally making progress on it. Feels good. Nix, they come with the Goralan trees. Oh, I've seen those. I haven't gotten to mess with those because I've been playing GravShip runs, and I like haven't been able to invest in those. You have to plant them. No, I've seen them like wild. You got to maintain them with a dedicated person who will basically only do pruning of those trees every day. It takes so long. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, you got some cool pet options. Rad. Okay, I'm going to try those out. The ideology on my like more sedentary run that's not a GravShip run, we're like the collectivists. So plant management is like very much in our field, you know. All right, so there's Z. Deck level Z. I think I did this right. I get so nervous when I make so many make big changes like this. I mean, we're not doing it destructively, but still it's gonna be a pain in the butt to debug if it doesn't work exactly the way I expect it to work. Alright, we're cruising. We're cruising now. Let's go on to the bulks, aka the walls. I do like this process, though, of like figuring out where the indivisible functions are. Like, where's the behavior fundamentally different? Make those into like little chunks and then just write out all those chunks. And it's okay to have all those. Like, I don't like going overboard with like abstractions and like crazy complex branching where you're like trying to determine the, like the type of something to like work on it, to like transform it a certain way. Sometimes it's nice to just break them out into these bigger pieces here. Or smaller pieces, I guess. Create bulk. X tile. Oh, hold on. Private tile. Create bulk X tile. Key. Doing a bunch of changes can be annoying, especially if it doesn't work the first time. Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. But, you know, there's some things that can't be worked on halfway, you know. And we just try to be careful to make sure we don't do this work destructively. Like we're not destroying anything we've previously done yet. So right now there's no consequence. Oh, you have an early out. Here is something we need to consider. This one has an early out. So how do we want to do that? Does this need to be a nullable tile? It can't be. Tiles are not nullable. What we should do is we should structure it like this. We should say tile dot tile. Oops. Should say tile dot. Come on now. Tile equals. Let's get the tile. Then if the tile ends up being, we'll say if tile is not equal to default. Then we can say tiles.add. And in fact, we'll also need to increment the count. This. We can invert this. I don't always like to invert those, but you know, this time do that as a treat. So in this case, we do have an early out. We need to keep, let's finish setting up this function. So up front we'll put the early out here, which is just if the cutaway is full bulk, don't draw the bulk, obviously. I'm a little concerned about this. We got to introduce this cutaway. Continue. All right, what about this one? This affects all of them. So where should we put that? Okay, we can do that like this. We can also do this here. Let's look at the mask first. Then we can look at the cutaways. Senior 007 is asking, hey bro, what are you coding? Hey, what's up? We are working on here. Let me get rid of the compiler errors. We're working on an isometric 3D version of FTL Fast and Light. We're working on our tools right now. We're working on an autotiler that goes with this block editor tool that we have to build these isometric 3D like ships, which are going to look kind of like this. This is like a bridge scene on one of the ships. And right now we're just making some changes to the autotiler. This is kind of how it normally works. So we can make like a few decks. We can then fill those out with walls. And we can hollow them back out. Don't worry about that. That is going to go away once we fix that autotiler. And so we can make compartments, which the autotiler and the cutaway system know about. And so we can make rooms. We can partition these spaces. Start putting some doors in. Doors auto tile as well. Single, double, triple doors. Impressive project. Thank you. It's really just a set of tools right now. We really haven't gotten to the game yet. We're making a lot of assumptions with the game and how the game is going to be. But, you know, I think if you start from FTL, you can't really go wrong. But yeah, we're trying a kind of a 3D version. But thank you. Really appreciate it. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Thanks for stopping by. All right. I'm going to need a coffee after this. Maybe a tea. Maybe I'll go get a tea. Maybe a little snack. You're well? How about me? I'm all right. I'm pretty tired. We skipped our stream yesterday. I was just like too tired. But we're back today. We're working on this. Oh, cutaway is not used here. Fascinating. So let's just get rid of it. Arneo, you might head out and try to sleep? Yeah, please do. You can't sleep to this stream for some reason? No, sorry. My voice is not that sonorous. You can't sleep to something you don't quite understand. Good night. Good night, Arneo Mitsuri. Sweet dreams of game dev and grid maps. And tiles. Have a good weekend as well. Whoa. Indent much? All right, these get kind of complicated, huh? Let's make sure we do these correctly. Oh, oops. Let's say if mask It's not equal to no. Yeah, let's go in order. Let's do this in order. We may need to do some masking here. These are for the half tiles. I'm a little concerned about the half tile logic. Let's just not worry about that right now, though. I'm going to move this one down here. X plus 1, X plus 2, Y plus 1, Y plus 2. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm not quite sure about the rest of these. These are the special ones to handle some stuff. That's fine. I don't think we're going to test that. I don't think we're going to test the mask functionality until tomorrow. I think the best case for what we're checking now is just trying to check to see if the regular tiles will still work. And so what? We're on bulk X. We got bulk Y, bulk Z. I'm about out of time, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to go a little further. Probably call this cell instead of tile. Create bulk Y cell. Gotta head out. No worries. Thanks, Rhiannon. Happy Friday. Take it easy. Oh, this is my jam. All right, two more. We're almost there. We're so close. The door one might be either the most complicated or the least complicated. I'm actually not quite sure. That one will be next. This one should be easy though. At least the Z layers have the decency of being like tremendously simple. It's nice. You love to see it. You know, we could probably simplify this to just try get value. I feel like what I'm doing is worse, so I'm having to do a null check. Well, no, I guess a try get value won't work. We'd still need a null check. I'm just concerned about this giving a null reference exception. I guess it might. It might. In which case we just switch to the try get. I'm just hoping it'll early out before it gets to the contain call. Oy. All right, one more. We're almost there. Create door cell. Oh, this needs the if cutaways p.xyz has, that's what it is, this one. I think we do the same here. So I think if you have a full bolt cutaway, you don't draw the door. Is what I would do. I'd probably hard code the source ID for the doors. See if that's true. The door one is weird. Hold on a sec. Oh, the source ID needs to be set here. Let's see. -1. Tile ID does not get to be a constant here either. Doors key equals door tile. Why do we do that? Yeah, whatever. All right, where do I put the mask though? Not quite sure how to handle the mask for the doors. Oh, shoot. The door is going to be weird because the door here to do. Oh, no, the doors aren't weird. I mean, they are a little bit, but we can make them less weird. Oh, this isn't gonna matter. All right, let's put it all together. Let's see if we did the thing. pretty cool if we did the vast majority of this in a single stream. So we would need to do this, and then what else do we need to do? We need to go down to the bottom here and see how we prep the data. We should go through the counts. Oh, then we just need to call. We need to call the output pack tile data. But you know, maybe we should do that from out here. Yeah, there we go. So instead of generate tile cell data, let's try create tile map cells. You want the mask? Let's just say null. And you're going to fill up the tiles and set the counts. Let's see what happens. I think something's going to break. Oh, does it just work? Looks like it just works. The selection's not switched over yet, but the regular tile drawing is. Okay, so then we're not doing any masking right now, but it means at least in the case of no mask, it works. You'll love to see it. Another one and done. Ship it. Oh, we've lost some outlining. All right, we have some problems. We've lost some outlines. Specifically the interior outlines. What if I fill this all back up again? Well, I have the interior outline here. Okay, so for the middle and the inner halls, we've got some missing outlines. But you know what? That's okay. The fact that it's not crashing feels great. We'll pick that up tomorrow. I definitely have to go now, though. This has been fun. Hopefully it's not raining. Nope. Good. I gotta go do laundry. But I'll be back tomorrow. We'll finish this up. So yeah, if I don't see you, have a great weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Maximum warp.